The architecture of high-level interaction is frequently undermined by the empathy fallacy. In the modern professional landscape, there is a pervasive and debilitating belief that cultural competence is achieved through mimicry. We are taught that to succeed in foreign environments, we must adopt the emotional temperature of our counterparts, mirroring their gestures, validating their local sentiments, and seeking rapport as a primary objective. This belief is fundamentally incomplete. Attempting to fit into a cultural frequency is not competence, it is a broadcast of subordinate status. When you mirror a counterpart's cultural emotionality, you are permitting them to define the rules of the engagement. You are signaling that your reality is secondary to theirs. True sovereignty requires the semantic decoupler. This is a higher-tier linguistic mechanism that allows you to acknowledge a cultural value while simultaneously stripping it of its ability to influence the transactional outcome. You do not respect a custom, you categorize it as a systemic variable. I am Grace, and if you are still trying to build bridges through emotional alignment, you are a social tourist. Today, we resolve a second-layer riddle. Why does the most successful negotiator in a multicultural dispute often remain the most foreign person in the room? The answer lies in exogenous authority, and we will resolve it at the end of this hour of deep tissue training. Let us deconstruct the anatomy of cultural friction. The non-Trinity scholar, the rapport, treats cultural differences as obstacles. They use apologetic adaptation. If a counterpart says, "In our culture, family loyalty comes before the contract," the rapport responds with, "I totally understand and respect that, but we really need to look at the numbers." Our analysis of the non-Trinity posture reveals an emotional entanglement. By using understand and respect, you have validated their family loyalty as a legitimate reason to break a contract. You have surrendered the logical plane for the emotional plane. The Trinity scholar utilizes the semantic decoupler. You do not argue against the culture, you decouple the sentiment from the procedure. You acknowledge the statement as a data point, then pivot immediately to a procedural absolute. You do not say "I respect that," you say, "The prioritization of familial networks is a recognized variable." Nevertheless, the current operational framework necessitates a non-contingent execution of the primary terms. Notice the pivot. By labeling their culture as a recognized variable, you have neutralized its emotional weight. You have moved it from a sacred value to a technical nuance. You are not being insensitive, you are being sovereign. You are demonstrating that while you are aware of their reality, your reality, the reality of the contract, is the one that governs the room. Walkthrough 1. Geopolitical negotiation. The sovereign debt restructuring. The scenario: you are representing a creditor at a summit in a nation that views debt repayment as a matter of national honor rather than finance. The local minister is shouting about imperialistic greed. The non-Trinity scholar uses defensive justification. They say, "We aren't being greedy, we just have a responsibility to our shareholders. We want to find a solution that is fair to your people so we can keep our friendship." Grace. Our analysis of the non-Trinity posture reveals moral submission. By using greedy and friendship, you have allowed the minister to turn a math problem into a morality play. You have categorized yourself as the aggressor who is now asking for forgiveness. The Trinity scholar uses the semantic decoupler. They state, asterisk, while the rhetoric of national honor serves its intended internal asterisk function. The restructuring sequence remains a matter of actuarial necessity. Our analysis of the Trinity posture identifies strategic archiving. You didn't argue about honor, you called it internal rhetoric. By using nominalization, necessity, sequence, you have turned their shouting into a background noise that has no bearing on the actuarial reality. You have governed the crisis by refusing to join the drama. Walkthrough 2. Venture capital. The founder's vision conflict. The scenario: a charismatic founder in Silicon Valley is refusing to pivot the company's direction, claiming it would betray the original soul of the startup. The non-Trinity scholar uses rapport-based persuasion. They say, I love your vision and the soul of this company is why we invested. But the market is changing and if we don't pivot, we might go bankrupt. Please, trust me on this. Grace. Our analysis of the non-Trinity posture shows status leaking. By using love and trust me, you are begging. You have validated soul as a valid business metric. You sound like a fan, not a board member. The Trinity Scholar uses the Semantic Decoupler. They respond, the philosophical origins of the venture are noted. However, the current valuation trajectory mandates a realignment of product architecture. Our analysis of the Trinity posture demonstrates the clinical cut. You didn't talk about soul, you spoke of philosophical origins. By labeling the founder's passion as noted, you have effectively archived it. You have replaced trust me with mandates. You have moved the conversation from the founder's vision to the market's trajectory. Walkthrough 3, Crisis Management, the transnational labor strike. The scenario: a factory in a country with strong collective identity traditions has been occupied by workers. The local governor is siding with the workers, citing social harmony. The non-Trinity Scholar uses empathetic negotiation. They say, we care about social harmony too. We want the workers to be happy and we are willing to talk about a small raise if they leave the factory now so we can be a family again. Our analysis of the non-Trinity posture identifies categorical collapse. By using happy and family, you have surrendered your legal standing. You have confirmed that the factory is a social club rather than a productive asset. You have invited more strikes because you have shown that harmony is a price you will pay for. The Trinity Scholar uses the Semantic Decoupler. They state, notwithstanding the local emphasis on communal stasis. The unauthorized occupation constitutes a breach of operational integrity that supersedes regional nuance. Our analysis of the Trinity posture shows linguistic erasure. You turned social harmony into communal stasis. You turned a strike into a breach of operational integrity. By using phonetic overrides, liquids, integrity, nuance, you make your hardline stance sound like a calm, inevitable law of physics. We resolve the opening riddle. Why does the most foreign person in the room often hold the most power? Because of exogenous authority. When you try to fit in culturally, you are acknowledging that the local culture is the master frequency. You become a guest. But when you use the Semantic Decoupler, you remain an outsider who operates on a higher logical plane. Your power comes from the fact that you cannot be manipulated by local emotional cues. Because you are decoupled, you are perceived as more objective, more stable, and more dangerous. You aren't there to be part of their culture, you are there to govern the transaction. Sovereignty is not found in belonging, it is found in being the only person who doesn't need to belong. But the Semantic Decoupler only holds if you can master the chronological anchor. In our next session, we explore temporal sovereignty, using future perfect tense to archive current conflict. Homework. This week, I am banning the words understand and respect from your professional vocabulary. When someone presents an emotional or cultural argument to you, 1. Label it as a recognized variable. 2. Use the phrase, notwithstanding the sentiment, the procedure remains absolute. And 3. Record the reaction. Observe how the other person's emotional energy dissipates when it finds no rapport to latch onto. I am Grace. At Trinity English Scholar, we don't decode cultures to join them, we decode them to move past them. See you in the next frame.